better than ever. And I know right now that I'm going somewhere and I need some cheddar. Oh, baby,
So
better
let's
not go.
say, you have like a private company or even public, like a company, small, mid-sized business does about $10 million in revenue. That's usually the size of what we're probably working with, maybe a little more. Obviously, the bigger deals, larger companies that are doing in the hundreds of millions of revenue. But let's say, most people are probably talking to someone in like the $10 million range. So most companies, they're going to spend about 10 to 15%, just from some of the research I did, on of their revenue on sales and marketing. So let's call that, if it's 10 million, you're spending about $1 million on sales and marketing. That's headcount, that's staffing, that's marketing initiatives, that's getting leads out in the community events, even tickets probably could be in that. So you spend about $1 million there. Most companies also in that range spend about 10 to 15% of their revenue on payroll and compensation. So, and taking it a step further, usually about of that $1 million, that 10 to 15%, we'll call it $10 million, they spend about 1% of that on employee incentives. So that's group outings, that's lunches, holiday parties not even thrown in there, like awards if someone like was a top performer each month. So 1 to 2%. So let's call it 1%. So you got this company that does $10 million in revenue. At most, if they choose to do a group outing, they're probably going to be in that $5,000 to $10,000 range. Not a bad sale, but like there's just like that's all they have allotted for outings. And that could be you plus another sports team, you plus bowling or going to do a picnic or something like that. So you're already starting with max that they even have budgeted amongst all this other competition is this, where again on that sales and marketing side, they have $1 million that they spend on trying to drive revenue. And so they might have like a little bit amount allotted to tickets within that $1 million. So yeah, we call it even, like let's say it's $10,000 in tickets, $10,000 in like a group outing. Like if I'm you, you're looking at me like, well, why wouldn't I just go one of the other routes? If it's easier, why don't I just do the 10,000 in groups? The reason is because that $10,000 in season tickets is if you're talking tickets. You want to talk about things that impact that $1 million that they spend on sales and marketing. So, how can you tie to drive more leads for their business? If you're talking to like a marketing leader, how can you help them close more deals with that $1 million they're spending? Not just you, but with other things. How can you get that to be 2x, 3x of what they're spending with you to get even more revenue back? So now you're a revenue engine for them. You're not just an expense that's like, oh, let's have fun and bring people out to games and tickets. Where the group outing, like that's a fixed line item. If it even rolls over the next year, a lot of times that's the first thing to get cut. So if you're latching on that and hoping that comes every single year, like that's kind of a maybe. If the business is doing well and that just happens to be something that the executives want to do, you might have an opportunity at that group outing. Where the sales and marketing budget, that's always scaling. And if you could show an ROI, they're going to continue to grow that. So there's the opportunity to take that to another level. And so maybe it starts at 10,000, but you show results, and then that grows to 20,000, 40,000 the next year. So you want to be on something that is helping drive the business and can grow and scale. So that's why they start with season tickets or the sales and marketing budget, and they don't talk about tickets. They talk about objectives that are going on in the business, and they talk to executives about what they're focused on, what their priorities are, what their pain points are, and provide a business case solution, an ROI story around that. So that's why if you're helping them shorten their deal cycle, if you're helping them close more deals, if you're helping them get FaceTime with their top execs and top clients and things like that, you're gonna have a lot more likelihood to unlock more dollars that can grow year over year. Where group outings, employee outings, the business isn't doing well, it's the first thing to get cut. Or a lot of times, like, hey, we had a great time, but our staff wants to try something different. We want to do bowling. We want to go to another sporting event. We want to do a picnic. Like, there's just not a lot of opportunity there where there is on the sales and marketing side. So when I talk about what the best reps do, it's really focusing on that side where they could do business development, they could drive more revenue, they could get larger deals that compound year over year over year. And so I've talked about a few times, very particular on the language that you're using. And really throughout the whole process, and this is what we teach like in our training, first and foremost, I want people to learn business acumen. And we talk a lot about AI and like some of these tools and things like that. And I want to make sure people don't get lost in the conversation. This isn't about AI. This is about teaching reps the fundamentals and the foundation to have a conversation about businesses and how businesses make money and how you can help them make more money. And that's going to unlock opportunities for you in your career and for your team to grow and scale their revenue. So that's first and foremost, teaching business acumen. And here's some tools to help you do that. But we know that there's objections that you're going to get. So we're preparing, and at the end of all this, we want to have a business case based proposal. All the stuff we talk about leads to you building this business case ROI story. And there's objections that we can overcome by having that already in the proposal. The biggest objection we get is too many games, especially if you're in baseball. How are we going to use the tickets? Like, isn't this just for fun? So we're at the end telling the story about how this is about business, and all throughout the sales process we're leading up to that. We're making sure they prospect the right people that potentially have a need or a fit, so you're not wasting your time there. We teach what conversations do you have to get more meetings booked. When you're in the meetings, what do you say? How do you ask questions so you know what an average client is worth to them, so what their conversion rate is. So you can tell that ROI story. Hey, if you have 81 games and you close at X% and each a client's worth this much to you, you spend this much, you're going to get this much back. And like, that's what we're teaching people to have those conversations around so you can unlock that. Very tough to tell the story about an employee group outing. There's, surveys you could do, there's morale boosters, like it's all good too. But if the company's not keeping the lights on and driving new business and reaching their goals and their targets, like they're not going to do an employee group outing. So that's why you need to be well versed. All reps are full menu by job description, but not many actually put that into action and focus on, all right, I got some employee group outings here, I got this, like, and really making sure that they fully maximize all of their opportunities within an account, and when they're doing outreach and when they're going to prospects and everything like that. So, this is, again, why the top reps succeed. They build a business case around it, they tell the ROI story, and all throughout the process, they're leading up to it. Um, so yeah, that's why it's not that we don't want to sell group outings or I think that it's not worth the time. It's just, if you're looking to scale, you're looking to grow your revenue, the best reps start on the sales and marketing side, and then find opportunities as it relates to groups. So every episode, I want to talk about something that stood out to me. So there's a tool, an AI tool called NotebookLM. It's a Google product, and Google, like, they're coming strong with a lot of their AI stuff. And so I heard a lot about it, and I even seen use cases for it. But I played around with it this week, and actually even for like this episode. So I have notes that I put together just to kind of think through like my thoughts, what I'm going to talk through, so I don't just completely wing it and get lost. And so I put these notes into NotebookLM because you upload a document or sources or connects to like your Google Docs, and there's different things you can do with it. It's really to help you for skill development, I think. You can get up to speed very quickly on a topic or a subject. So you upload these docs, or you could even prompt it a little bit, and it could give you like a podcast style, like audio, like an audio, like podcast style that you could listen to, like 15 minutes. It can give a video explaining all the documents that you did, so you can, like, you can bite-sized pieces, like learn something that you're looking to get up to speed on. It can give you an infographic. You can do a quiz on it. So I plugged in my notes for this and had it create the audio file, like podcast style audio. And so, like, 13 minutes, it kind of went through and even gave me some ideas on like what I could add to it or different things that I could talk about. Like, one of the ones that stood out that I didn't have in my notes before was how employee group outings are on a fixed budget, where sales and marketing, like, that grows year over year if you could show the ROI. Things I know, but I wasn't gonna have that in my notes for today. So that's a great tool. A lot of things you could do with it. I think there's some opportunities on like the business development side, where, like, prospecting, take a company you're reaching out to and find some information about them on ChatGPT or Google Gemini, whatever it may be. Share a little about your company, load this up in a NotebookLM, and say, hey, give me a 10-minute podcast, like, audio file about how we help this company based on like the research I did. Imagine sending that to a prospect versus, hey, we work with businesses, email, just blowing up their email. No one really calls on the phone anymore. like that's going to really cut through the noise and stand out. So it's just so many different ways. And I'm real big on like modern sales tactics. Like, what are things that are different? I tell every team, I'm like, if I was coming and training you on stuff that I thought you all could do, I wouldn't do it. So I'm always looking for like, what's that next thing? What are other things that we could do that help you get more meetings booked, close more deals, find a new way to get in? And this is another one that I'm going to start playing around with to see the different use cases for it. So that's something that stood out to me, and I definitely encourage you to check it out. So each episode, want to shout someone out for something I noticed that I saw recently, whether on LinkedIn or just in the industry. So I saw a couple weeks ago the San Diego Padres went through some transition in their ticket sales leadership. Their senior vice president Kurt Watt went to the Dallas Mavericks to go take a role there. And then I saw recently that one of their senior directors, Carter Motley, got promoted to be vice president ticket sales. So Carter, we worked together when I was at the Arizona Diamondbacks. So I was like a senior account executive. Carter was in inside sales, actually in inside sales with my wife. Uh, but I was helping kind of mentoring that group. And, we did role plays and stuff like that. And he had pulled me aside and asked for feedback. One, kudos to him, just for, like, speaks to the vulnerability and like wanting to be coached. Because a lot of people are afraid of that. And I gave him feedback. I was like, hey, like, who I see, like, just when you're out, because he's very confident, borderline cocky back then, but like super confident. And then what I hear on the phone, like, those are kind of two different people. Seem a little nervous, gun shy. Obviously, he was new, he was young to it, and I get it. And he said, yeah, like, I actually am. And like, thank you so much for that feedback. And we've kind of joked about that over the years as he's advanced throughout his career. But it's been really cool to watch him go from an inside sales rep to an account executive to becoming an inside sales manager and continue to move up the ranks, where now he's vice president ticket sales for one of the highest grossing, highest ticket selling teams within Major League Baseball that continues to sell out and have, high revenue. So I'm excited for him to take it even to the next level. So wanted to shout him out and call him out. And if you're looking for an opportunity, they have amazing inside sales program, great place to kind of start and grow your career or even advance your career if you're looking to move up. So check them out and check out what he's doing too. So wanted to shout out Carter. But yeah, in closing, so group tickets, it's a good thing. Like, it's definitely part of the business. Employee group outings help with that. You see those large 3,000, 5,000 person group outings. That's good. It's just there's just few and far between. Most of the groups you're selling are going to be 15, 20, 50 tickets, which is a small amount. So that's why it may be easier to get in and have that conversation. But the best reps, they do what's hard, they do what's difficult. That's why they make the money and get paid the premium to do it. So they focus on driving business, helping people acquire new clients, all that stuff from a business development perspective, and then bring in the employee group outings. So that's really the focus. If you're looking to take it to the next level as a salesperson, really audit, like, well, do I default to groups? Do I talk about tickets? Or am I starting to prepare and build an ROI business case with the way I ask my questions, the way I run my process? So I'm recording this before Christmas, but this will probably come out after Christmas. So hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year coming up. Excited for 2026 and what everyone has planned, and for us, really looking to take it to the next level from a business perspective for us. But yeah, if this resonated with you, if you liked it, click like on the video. If there's someone in your network that you think could see some value from it, share this. Subscribe. I got up to 100 subscribers recently, so I could tell my girls, like, I'm in triple digits now. So let's see how long it takes to get to 200 or get into 4 digits and get to 1,000. But I appreciate everyone and their feedback, and those that are sharing it, because great stuff. And I think it's really helping people in the sports sales community. But like I say, every morning when I drop my girls off, go be awesome today, and I'll be back next week with another video. Thanks.
That's nothing. I'm up doing this and I'm gonna be head hunting. Oh, baby, don't know. Oh, baby, don't go. Oh, baby, don't know. Oh, baby, don't go.